fine.
Every day we fall short of the grace of God. Oh. Welcome to Get Offset. My name is Emily.
I'm Joan of Heart.
And I started this episode by realizing my $1,300 in-ear monitors are broken.
Wah, wah, wah.
It's great. The faceplate just completely popped off of there.
Oh my
I know you
god.
can't see that. So right now my husband is researching epoxies because I'm not paying $200 to fix. I might have to. I think I just ran out of choices.
Oh no.
It broke more.
Oh no. Stop fiddling with it.
Wow. Okay. Well,
they don't make them like they used to.
I don't know what happened. Like I keep them in the case.
When you're
I
not
don't
using them,
know.
yeah.
I don't know if it was like temperature changes, but I'm gonna definitely talk to
Has there?
somebody over there tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to because I mean, unless there's a dramatic shift like in your house, that doesn't make sense. You're not running around a stage, mosh pitting with them in. Like, there's no reason.
Yeah. No, I don't. I was just talking about
Yeah.
these yesterday with my band, and I'm like, yeah, I don't play live with them as much as I could and
Well, now I don't
should.
know. Now,
Now I just might not. Like,
Jesus.
shit. I mean, not these. I gotta talk to somebody over there. This is.
Yeah.
Oh god. At least I have a margarita. I'm sorry, what the fuck is this? It's mimosa in a can.
Nice. Thank God for mimosas.
Yes. They actually taste awful. I don't recommend them. Oza.
I was about to ask you how it tasted, and sure enough, I got the answer
Bad.
that I probably expected.
BAD. Bad. It's okay.
No,
We're
I
okay.
mean, I understand. When we're going through things, we sometimes make questionable choices in our booze just to kind of compensate the level of So yeah. This week I'm drinking some gin. Last week
Oh.
was wine, which
Wine, and
I
I
think
didn't
you
notice that.
No, it was during the what do you call it? The premiere. You're like, "Were you drinking wine that episode?" I was like, "Yeah, it was a rough week. If you saw wine, which I never really drink, it was a rough week."
So those who don't know, we record this on a program called Zencast, which is really great. But basically, as soon as we hit record, uh, each of us gets really pixelated for the other person.
Yep.
So I'll like be holding something up, and Joe'll be like, "Oh, that looks great." And I can't see it at all.
She shows me beforehand, so at least I
Yes.
kind of know. Other than that, Emily is 8-bit to me.
Oh yes.
Nostalgia.
Very nostalgic. All right, so but this episode is launching on the 22nd. Oh, no, sorry, the 15th. Oh my god, I'm like, no, the 15th.
Wow, you're going way
Oh god. Ooh. It's not that late in November yet, but it's
No.
launching just like 10 days before Black Friday.
I'm getting
So
close.
everyone's going to be getting into the holiday shopping of 'tis the season, whatever. But we kind of talk about this every year about
Mhm.
what gifts to get guitarists, what gifts like you could maybe ask for that aren't going to get too fucked up ultimately. So
Yeah, no, that's
yeah.
that's really the burning question. Because I mean, as far as, like, my family goes, they're like they know me so well by now, they're like, "What pedal do you want?"
Mhm.
I would just like, I'll send you a link, mom."
Which
Like,
is it? Which is it going to be?
I'll send you a link, but yeah, that's it, I'm easy. I'm easy, just a pedal.
Yeah, just a pedal. But there's more to that. I think one
Yeah,
of the problems with like having a hobby is that people they very sweetly want to support your hobby,
of
but
course.
I think most people are kind of picky about their hobbies, and it kind of gets into that. Like let's say you like knitting. You don't
Mhm.
just want some random, yarn purchased by someone who doesn't know anything about yarn.
No, yeah, because the thought is there, but,
Yes.
they have no idea about what goes into it, what's involved, what they
Yeah.
should get you, what you like, and you're like, "No, give me some kind of, like, universal spending card, and then I can get the things for my hobby that I know I need." So I appreciate that, and it's not
Yeah.
really a little gift of giving someone, like, a debit card thing.
Yeah, that or worse, you get some weird tchotchkes
Oh, no.
related to your hobby, like, I don't think anyone really needs the guitar-shaped spatula.
No, please don't. Don't.
I I know someone who has, like, the Marshall amp key ring thing,
I've
so they
seen
just, like,
those.
"Bloop." I'm like, "I don't want that." Like, I don't want to, like, walk around with stuff that says, "I am a guitarist," all the time.
I was
Fender's
tempted.
entire lifestyle line, and Gibson's for that matter too.
Yeah, I
Just
remember when those came out. I was tempted, but I was just like, "No, don't do
I can't.
it. Don't do
But,
it."
Fender just released a collaboration with, that there's actually this hat company I like called Brixton,
Really?
and, it's Brixton and Fender, and they are fedoras,
Oh,
and they're
no.
paired with Jaguars.
Milady.
Like, what does that fedora have to do with anyone who's ever played a Jag? These people play like, people play Jags wear beanies and, like, Ebbsfield flannel caps. They're not wearing
Oh. Oh, no, yeah.
fedoras.
No, we're n no, no, we no, and even still, like, wearing fedoras these days are like a no, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not a
Some
good
people
look, and
can
it
pull them
doesn't
off.
yeah.
It's like they had it
Milady.
last time they had, like, a cowboy hat, and I liked that. I think I
Yeah,
bought
that's
that, but I bought it in the
fine,
wrong
yeah.
size.
Totally.
And then I bought another
Totally.
hat from Brixton and bought it the same size. I'm like, "That's still the wrong size, huh? Shit." Um, and there's
Fender's been
but
making all the good choices lately.
man, like, did you see this trapper hat? I'm gonna ping it to you.
Oh, yeah,
This is
just ping it to me so I can you can see, like, the whole, immediate reaction if you're watching. "Oh god, no."
the flaps go down so far.
Oh my god, it's like you're Goofy or, like, you're one of those dogs, like Pluto.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, I would call it a Pluto
Pluto.
hat.
Very much. It's got the little clippy on the front so it can become a bill. Like, this is honestly a great hat if you go ice fishing. I
There,
did don't
Pluto.
I have no idea what it has to do with playing a short scale offset guitar.
I mean, maybe okay, maybe if you're like, obviously a bassist and you want to be goofy or whatever, maybe. But I mean, you're not playing out in like Sub-Zero, like I don't know. This
Maybe.
is just really confusing to me. It's yeah, I would anybody wearing that, I would immediately hop into like my Mickey impression and just the whole night just talk to him like that.
Oh, boy.
Hi
What
there,
a
Pluto.
cat. Oh, hi, Pluto. I really like your hat.
Yep. You want to go
Oh,
play fetch?
you wanna go play fetch? You want a bone? I got a bone to pick with you, Pluto. What does that hat have to do with jaguars? We're losing everybody.
They're like, "No, they're bringing out the next is gonna be, like, the little hand puppets."
Oh
Then
my
then
god.
then run. Run when the hand puppets come out.
Oh my god. If I bring out hand puppets on this show, just gracefully unsubscribe.
Just immediately like, "Nope," like a big nope comes on screen,
Don't
"Nope,
don't say
unsubscribe."
anything. Just skedaddle. It's fine. They don't even
Totally
have like
understandable.
they don't even have a non uh Jaguar. Brixton doesn't have a non-Jaguar version of this hat on their
No, they full
website.
committed. That
And
was
so
full
I don't see
commitment.
I just wanna see one with everything up because right now everything is
Oh, it's
down.
tied
That
up
looks
like the little
really
yeah, I
goop
see what you mean,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, whatever. Getting a cap with flaps is aces. Very smart Pacific Northwest stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, but we're not here to talk about bad gifts to get guitarists and musicians. We're here to talk about good gifts and like what we personally may want or have on our
Or
holiday list.
suggestions, yes.
Suggestions? I think a lot of suggestions.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say suggestions on my part. Yeah. Some of the
Mhm.
stuff I have, some of the stuff that I used to have. And of course, as someone's starting off and wanting to, this year I'm going to record myself or record an album. I mean, I got equipment, I have some instruments,
Mhm.
I have some things on my list that I think may be helpful if someone's shopping for themselves or somebody that, maybe their partner, maybe their
Mhm.
kid, anything. So,
Partner, child,
yeah,
friend,
anyone. It all fits under that
parent.
umbrella, hello.
Ella, alright. So what you got to start us off with?
Alright, as far as equipment goes, I pretty much the first on the list is obviously the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. I
Oh,
think
the
that's really
Focusrite.
yeah, it's like the staple as you're getting into recording. I think it's the best. I started with a 2i2. They're right now like how about 159 on sale? They're usually like 179. Used on Reverb about 134. I mean, they have good use. So I mean, even used, it's usually along the lines of someone has upgraded their interface. Not that they don't work.
Yeah.
They're pretty sturdy. They had another one which was the
I mean,
same.
every Focusrite I've ever had is broken.
No, it's broken. I've been kind of lucky, but
Yeah.
that's not too bad. But yeah, the other bundle that they had, which looked pretty good as far as the deal, was that you get headphones and you get a mic with 249. So I was like,
That's
hey,
great
that's
beginner stuff. That sounds
yeah,
like
that's
a
great.
podcaster starter
Mhm.
kit.
Yeah. So that looks like what that was when I saw the 2 side by side. I was like, that actually, if I was wanting to get started for the holidays, I was like, that's a good right out the box kind of deal as far as getting
Mhm.
started. I've seen other things as far as like the solid state logic, SLL2 as another one that was comparable about the same price. And I've heard other people have had pretty decent experiences with that as well. So those are the 2 within that price range, I think, that are
Yeah.
pretty good if you're starting out or you wanna give as gift.
I'm gonna say this about Focusrite.
Mm.
I think they definitely do the best marketing.
Yeah.
I have gotten kind of annoying comments from people who are real Focusrite stans. Um,
Mm.
I remember when I demoed my 1810C and someone said, you're trading more inputs for shittier preamps." Like, no, I'm not. My preamps actually have a lot more headroom than a Focusrite does. And I don't sing, so I don't really need the air uh preamp. Um, as far as things go, I really like the PreSonus interfaces. I've played through 3 of them now. Um 2 or 3 of them now. And so if you want a 2 input Focusrite, the 26C USB-C audio interface, right now it's $189 on Sweetwater. That's $50 off. The 24C is 129 right now. That's $40 off. So I like those. But if you're
That's
looking
actually
to
much better.
yeah, I think that's a pretty good deal. Then they also do bundles. I think a lot of these places,
Yeah.
these builders do bundles with a microphone and headphones, um, to just kind of seal the deal, make it seem
No, of
like a
course.
better. I just want the headphones I want and the microphone I want. But
Same.
if you are an absolute beginner and you're
And
doing
don't know where to start, yeah.
a podcast, yeah. If you wanna do streaming, I liked the Revelator IO24.
Mhm.
Um, that allows it allows you to loop in different computer audio signals and mix them separately, which is a really huge deal, and to send those out to different places. So it just makes streaming a lot easier. And the IO, let's see, 24 is $150 right now. That's $50 off. So personally, if you want to stream, that's a great interface because it's hard to find an interface in that price range that not only has a loop back but has like multiple options for the loop back. I know personally I can't film demos of like software and stuff like that if I don't have decent and controllable loop back. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. And actually it's a pretty great deal. Yeah, ever since I started with the was it trying to think where I started. I started the first one interface I ever got was like a Behringer, like Euphoria, like it was horrible, like that. But
Yeah.
that was my first one. I didn't know any better, and
Mhm.
then I moved obviously to the Scarlet, like the 2i2, then the 4i4, and since there I've moved on to other things. But I will say, even though sometimes like what you're working with, you're having to learn how to like edit and work around those type of situations. It makes you, I guess, a better mixer for when you get to the other interfaces later. Because
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of things that I learned early that now when I have to compensate for things, I was like, oh, I've seen you before, I know how to fix that.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely true. Um, and for that matter, I think that's one of the reasons, almost one of the reasons that people tend to stick with the same type of
Hmm.
interface, the same builder, is so you don't have to have those growing pains because essentially you're just upgrading to more inputs and outputs, perhaps different things, but you're probably still using the exact same control software. Again, I like the PreSonus Universal Control a lot more than I like the Focusrite control. That's personal preference.
Yeah.
Another cool one that PreSonus has is their IO Station 24 2x2 USB-C interface and production controller. So this is a
Mm.
MIDI controller that works with your DAW, but it also has inputs in it. So you can do things like record, rewind, change channels, zoom, scroll, bank, like tons of stuff, but in a more tactile kind of. I'm
Oh,
just
that's good.
showing here because I have the fader port 8 over here. Um,
Hmm.
kind of lean over and like hit record, hit scroll zoom, actually have a knob to do that. Do the panning directly from a control surface is much more akin to how I learned how to record and mix in the first place, which, I know most people learn on their computers. I learned in school because the computer options when I was coming up weren't as good. So
Same, yeah. So that's why more or less I usually like the tactile of fiddling with things, either with knobs or something, obviously either on my desk, and less fiddling with plugins and deep diving into presets and whatnot.
yeah.
Because, yeah, when I was growing up in that kind of time period, when we did have those options, they didn't really sound that good. So it was kind of like even though they're a lot better than what they used to be, they're still kind of, I guess it's easier for me to just control my hands than just
Mhm.
going in and fiddling with things
Yeah.
at the end of time in a
Yeah.
DAW.
We back in my day, we had to use
Yeah,
a
that's what it sounds
Tascam
like. I know.
Porta-Studio, and now your
We didn't have
children are
that.
trying to imitate the sound of a Porta-Studio on your $400 Chase Bliss pedals. Yes, we are.
Yes, yes, we are.
We are, yeah. Yeah. Cool. So interfaces, yes, always a great gift. If someone has something that's like the one input right now, upgrading them to the two input or four input is definitely an easy win. Like they're probably going to be really stoked with that.
Yeah, and also again, like you were talking a little while ago, I understand the whole staying within a certain brand because as you just move up in inputs and everything and outputs, which is really great. But if you really want to throw your life some challenge, completely switch to another brand, which I did, and now like everything that I used to do in certain ways, like now I've just added a level of complexity to it. So yeah, if you want to basically keep editing the way you already have and kind of
Hmm.
the comfort of that, yeah, stick to
Yeah.
the lakes and rivers that you're used to.
Yeah. I mean, they all are kind of different ways to say the same thing. But if you're
Mhm.
used to recording in Studio One and then you go to Ableton, a little part of you is like, the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What's happening? Awesome. Also other good interfaces are Ultimate Ultimate Ears. I'm just thinking about my IM still. UA Universal Audio.
Yeah.
They
UA
have
is great.
some. Yeah, I have the Volt 2. I don't
Yeah.
use it much, but it's just because I have other things. But I actually
Yeah.
found a software that allows me to use multiple interfaces in Studio One at the
Oh, shit,
same
nice.
time. It's pretty great, honestly.
That is pretty awesome. I didn't actually know that existed.
It's a hacker thing,
Yeah, at
basically.
least Yeah, for now, of course, because I left, Focusrite, I went to Apollo, and the one I got was the twin. So that's mostly what I've worked
Mm,
with, and I've been really happy with it. The only thing that kind of annoys me at times about it is that some of my recording process is different now than what I'd kind of been set into doing, and I switched like right in the middle of doing a demo. So it was like navigating the learning curve while also trying to navigate this new audio interface. So shame on
mhm.
me, but still, don't do that.
Yeah,
That's not smart.
for
But
sure.
I'm happy with it. Yeah.
Well, so we pretty well covered interfaces. What else should people be looking to get their guitar loving friends or put on their own wish list for friends and family?
Yeah, I was also looking at possibly the microphone possibilities that someone could look into. I
Yeah,
also looked at stereo direct boxes or DI boxes, which were great. SM57, tried and true, new, $100 if you were looking for one used on Reverb. 60, not bad.
yeah, they're cheap.
Um,
Last year I did for Sweetwater, I did a stocking stuffers video, and
I remember that.
some dude got really mad that I said an SM57 would make a good stocking stuffer because they're so expensive. I'm like, if you can't find one for less than $75, you are simply not looking very hard.
Yeah.
Like this is a stock one. It fits in a stocking too. It is less than $100.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
that's when I was looking through it, I was just like, well, yeah, it's under $100, and that's
Yeah.
something that's kind of an investment person could make, and
Yeah.
it's has lots of uses. I've used it as a singing microphone. I've used it in
Yeah.
my amp. I've used it in many ways.
Everybody can use an extra SM57. This is just
Always.
the law. It's the law. It's the laws of thermodynamics. It's some physics law, I'm sure.
Lots of laws. Lots of laws.
Lots of laws. Lots.
The other one I mentioned, which I wrote here, was the Shure MV7, which as mics I
Oh,
think you and I are using, which I
yeah.
love to death. I love these
Theirs are
things.
great. How do
I
we
love them.
sound, everybody?
Oh, I think they sound great.
I think we sound really good.
Yeah, compared to what I was recording with before it was my condenser mic, it sounded like I was 2,000 leagues under the sea.
Yeah. I also used to record with a condenser, and they're great.
Mhm.
Condensers are
Yeah.
great, but it picked up everything.
Everything. Like, there's
Everything.
across the damn house, and I'm just like, "Stop it."
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
other thing that I mentioned was a cloud lifter. Yeah,
Nice.
150, 105 used at least on reverb. And
Mhm.
again, sometimes with mics, when you're doing podcasts or recording, it needs a little lift in volume, and it's not that bad of an investment, just as some kind of thing to get someone.
No, and, you can have get a standard cloud lifter, or you could get
Hmm.
something a little extra like the Soyuz launcher, which has, its own preamp that has a lot of character. I like the launcher, a lot.
Nice.
Yeah,
Another one that I had listed here is basically DI boxes or stereo DI boxes if you have acoustics and things like that, or if you're going into your audio interface and kind of trying to go stereo. It really helps kind of to lift the signal and balance it. One of those, it's like a utility. If you're looking into that, that's pretty good too. I mean, 200
yeah,
new, used 110, pretty
yeah.
decent.
I mean, that those are great because, like, a lot of the things we've said so far are things that people they need and they know they need them, but it's not fun to buy that for
No.
yourself. So, like, to have someone else get it for you, it's like, "Oh gosh, I'm glad that this was a gift and not, like, something I had to spend my own money on." Because it's yes, I need the microphone, I need the cloud lifter, I need the DI box. It's not as fun as, like, buying myself a pedal.
No, exactly. And I remember a friend of mine randomly for one of the holidays gave me a was it ABY splitter box, and at the time
Mhm.
I wasn't using one. I was like, "Hey, great, thank you, like for thinking of me." And then down the line, I actually had a scenario of which I needed to use one, and then I just dug it out of there, and I was like, "Wow, someone was thinking ahead for me." And actually, for my situation, I didn't have to go out and buy one. That was just a gift that I didn't know I needed. It was like a foresight thing. I appreciate that.
Yeah, everybody needs one of those eventually. It's
Hmm.
just the truth.
Yeah, even like a reamp box. If you're recording dry and you want to send some of your recordings through your pedal board, and then record them back into your audio interface, one of those has actually been really helpful. I did that, using one for the first time. I always wanted to, but I never got around to it. But this recent demo with the Albi, I got one of those reamper boxes, and I was
Oh,
just like, "Oh,
nice.
this is actually pretty awesome that I can kind of do it this way." So I'll see
Yeah.
going forward if I keep doing that. But I thought that was rather fun.
No, reamp boxes are great also,
Hmm.
and another thing people don't like to buy themselves. I know
Yes.
Saturn Works has them, but let's see what some good Sweetwater reamp
Yeah, a
options
lot
there
of my stuff
are.
has been more like utility stuff
Yeah.
or just getting started as recording, I think is helpful. Sure,
Mhm.
it's not a guitar, sure it's not like some kind of fun pedal, but it all helps in the process, I think, if you're recording
Yeah.
or wanting to do more with what you already do.
Totally. I mean, last week we talked about a lot of guitars, a lot of pedals. So that's the already stuff that we talked
Mhm.
about to get ideas of things that you can get um, a musician. Like I'm looking at these radial reamping. You can get them
Mhm.
for
I
as
love radio.
as little as $129.
Yeah, they're a pretty good price.
Yeah, and then the IK Multimedia Tone X Capture Tone Modeler and reamp box is 200. Um, Yeah, these you can get them for a really, really, really good price.
Yeah, even that's what I said when I looked up on Reverb, even for the passive stereo direct box that I had purchased, I saw them for like 110 used. I was like, oh yeah, just even if you can't buy them new, like used is fine.
Yeah, I think Saturn Works is did I already say that? I think the Saturn Works is where I got my reamp
Hmm.
box. And those start at like $89. And you can choose to put art on them.
Nice.
Customize. Customize.
Adds some
Um
pizzazz and personality.
Yeah, so for those who don't really know a lot about reamping, the idea is you record a DI sound directly into your interface and you send it out through the back channel. And then you can
Hmm.
put it into amps, amp modelers, different effects.
Excellent. Hmm.
So you aren't just like locked into one sound when you record. Like if later you're like, I wish I'd use this other fuzz. You can go back and do that if you have reamping capabilities. You can also like blend different amps
Yep.
to
Parallel
kind of like
mixing. Hmm.
I think John Mayer does that a lot. I know Sadie from Speedy Ortiz does some reamping. So it's just a very popular thing to do. I know people who that's how they run their synths through effects is through reamping. And it
Nice.
also frees you up uh to do like and some demo folk do it as well because you play your loop, you send it back through stuff, and then you
Hmm.
can use like both hands
Yep,
on the
that's
pedals.
that's the reason why I wanted to do it this time because and I wanted to put it with drums too. I could lock it in Logic with a drum beat while I was turning it. So when I used to do it with just my in the room looper, I always found that it drifted. Probably more my error, not or closing it too soon, the
Yeah.
loop. So I wanted to do it this time in such a way that I could lock it in with a beat and it could have some kind of rhythm with it. So yeah, that's the reason why I did it, and I think it's really great for parallel processing and mixing as well. You can have the drive, you can send out different layers, and like you said, you're not locking it in such a way of like, I have that like solidified in stone with that fuzz, but I really wanted a rat. It sounds better, and I had to play it all over again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause that's just the worst feeling when you do great on a take
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like I don't like the effects
Not
you use. I do
exactly.
most of the recording I do is remote. So I'll record stuff at my house and I'll send it to other people. I always include a DI um, with that. So I'll have like, here's what I think it should sound like, and then
Hmm.
here's the DI in case you want to reamp it and like make it sound the way you want it to sound. I won't be
Yeah.
offended.
No, I mean you're giving people options. That's why even
Hmm.
like when I've sent people stuff, it's been like, okay, here's the track with, here's it without. Do what you want, have
Hmm.
fun.
Yeah, totally. Uh,
And
yeah.
yeah, no, I was moving on to the next thing. Speaking of portable, I saw also Working Class Music did a demo on a studio monitors this week. Actually, it was pretty
Oh.
great. 3 inches. The KRK Go Aux 3. They also have 4 inch, but I really liked it. I mean, I use Yamaha H5s, and for the price, you're getting two of them for like 350. I think the lowest cost of that comes with a travel case on the go. Um, Adjustable stands as well for each monitor, Bluetooth, and it has a built-in low frequency, high frequency EQ, 60-watt RMS. The thing that I also liked about it is, unlike, let's say, with my Yamahas, which are still great, I love them, they have the port to plug in your headphones at the front of them. So
Mhm.
as soon as you jack in, it switches from and turns off the monitors. Whereas for me, I'd have
Huh.
to turn them off in the back on my Yamahas. And some people with PCs, unlike Mac, don't have the ability to turn off their speakers for the computer. I really think that's a really good, not only would it fit on the desk, but it's a good way to just, okay, I don't want to hear it in the room. Here's some quiet playing. Here's some quiet mixing I can do. And it just automatically switches
Yeah, these are I'm just looking at the, Goaux 4s. These look really robust. They
hmm
have USB in, they have TRS ends, they have aux ends, they have the RCA ends. They have those, like, those EQ modes like you were talking about. And it looks like they have Bluetooth also. These are
Yep.
very
No,
features
they're great.
rich. Like I have the some JBL, their Bluetooth monitors, and I quite like them. But these, like, it looks like they come with a carrying bag and
Yep.
monitor stands, which
Yeah,
is
for
pretty
everything that
phenomenal.
yeah, for what you get, when I was looking down the list and I also compared, I looked at my Yamaha H5s that I got, years ago, and then the price is still for H5s new, they're about $200 each. So of course you're looking at 400, plus tax. I mean, the difference between the two is the H5, which is a 5 inch, you have like 70 watts, whereas like I'm looking at the 3 inch monitors from KRK is 60 watt. I mean, still, at least from some of the demos and thing I was hearing, they sound like they pretty much fill the sound in the room for just being those little speakers
Mhm. Yeah, these days it's, pretty amazing how big of a sound you can get.
from
Um,
little speakers. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Let's see. Yeah, what's next?
The next one I had is obviously instruments. Since last week we didn't talk about the acoustics, and I know there was a comment, what? Forget the acoustics. I was like, all right, I got you. um, I listed as far as one of the acoustic instruments, I guess, that I would recommend for someone starting out, or if, or their kid or something. The Kala Exotic Mahogany Travel Ukulele is the concert one.
Mm,
They pretty much kind of range when it comes to ukuleles from the smaller size to the larger. Tend to be about like 179 up to 350 depending on the brands, like tenor, uh, concert, baritone. They also right now have it. I think this is the concert travel one, about 89 bucks. That's pretty good for buying in on a
wow.
ukulele, and they're pretty great when it comes to on the go. I've traveled with ukuleles before, just overhead, perfect
Yeah.
fit, nobody bothers you.
Yeah, check out the article I wrote on She Shreds about traveling with guitar. Those rules apply to ukuleles as well.
hmm
Essentially, the federal law in the United States is if there's room for it when you board, they
hmm
legally have to let you on with the instrument. It's always supposed to be polite and understand that the gate agents can't know every rule ever, but just be polite, stand your ground, and you're going to have a much easier time traveling with this
No, of
instrument.
course. Yeah, and at least as far as the brand that I know of, Kala, really great. They're mass produced, but still really hold decent quality. They're from California. I bought several of those. They've gone through hell and back.
Mhm.
Definitely really good to buy into. There's several other ones that they have as far as the different woods, with laminates and solid body. But yeah, for the price of just 89 bucks, I mean, it's a good instrument to start on. I started. playing ukulele, and I eventually moved on to a tenor guitar, and then I moved to a 12 string, and I hopped all over the place. But I actually started playing ukulele, so doesn't matter where you start. The whole thing is that you start it all.
Mhm.
The other one that
Absolutely.
I saw was the Squire Classic Vibe series. Looks like they took $50 off for the holidays, so they
Oh,
have
that's great. Those are great
yep.
guitars.
So the 60s Esquire Telly, was 479, but now 429.
Wow.
Also, the Squire's temporary bass, 479 is now 429, about the same. And then the
Mhm.
60s Strat, 449 is now 399. So, well,
Wow, those are
50
some good
bucks.
deals, yeah. Man, I wish that Squires were as good when I started as they are now.
I have a few things like that, and I was like, I wish they were better when I was a kid. I probably would have stuck with some of the things,
Yeah.
that I.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, it's funny, and I know that every generation says this and thinks this, but,
Mhm.
man, technology just keeps getting better, it's amazing.
It does. I remember right there. Yeah.
We don't have flying cars yet, but we do have exploding
No,
cars.
no. Every time I look at one of those futuristic, 50s drawings, I was like, you lied to me. It
Mhm.
was supposed to be now. So we'll
Mhm.
see. They're still. I think that would be bad though, because as far as like knowing how people crash into like things, I was like, you'll have cars sticking out of buildings. I mean, great,
Yeah.
great idea. Kind of a mess in practice. I don't think people should be flying cars around buildings at all.
No, the automation would have to be so good, and it's
Oh
just
my
not.
god.
Like, it would just be so cluttered. There's just no way.
No.
Take the bus,
Yeah.
ride a
Like,
bike, get an e-bike. That's what I did. So yeah, we want to take a pause and talk a little bit about what's new.
yeah, that sounds great. That actually was the end of my list. So we made it to the end of that. So yeah, what's new with you?
Other than my IEMs
Oh yeah, other than the
blessing,
epic fail earlier, yeah.
I don't think I got. Oh, there we go. I got these psychedelic Strat pickups from Seymour Duncan. Really excited to try these out. I'm going to put them in the Her signature Strat. I'm going to have Sean
Nice.
from Gun Street wire something up for me. So really, I haven't done I haven't done any wiring in a really long time. I think the last time I was like inside of a guitar was to fix something for somebody else, like an output jack or something like grounding. It was grounding. I fixed grounding on one of my guitars. So that was the last time I did any wiring. So I hope I remember how to do it.
I have faith in you.
It's like riding a bike. But Friday, the luthier Nicole Lazanak drove down from Canada and let me try out a couple of her new T style guitars,
Awesome.
handcrafted in her workshop in Van, BC. I think she and her wife were supposed to be here like 12:30. We were gonna have lunch together. It took them like 6 hours to cross the border because it was
Oh my
Armistice
god.
Day.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah, and people were, like, cutting the line to, like, get through the border
Oh
crossing
fucking
faster.
assholes.
Yeah, it's just I am so happy I have a Nexus card. But, having a Nexus card also means you, absolutely cannot break the law in
No.
border crossing situations, or, the fines are a lot worse, like, the penalties are a lot worse, so keep that in mind. If you plan on doing illegal things, don't get a Nexus card. If you don't
Breaking
plan
the
on doing
law.
illegal
Breaking
things,
the law.
Nexus card's fine. Yeah. Yeah, so, I was really bummed that they couldn't stay a little bit longer, but I was
Yeah.
excited to demo the guitars. That should be live on YouTube already. Um, they're great. What can I say? Like, the neck profile is very much her own creation. She just basically shaped it to what felt good for her personally, and everyone who's, like, played her prototype is like, "This is perfect. Can I have
Nice.
this exactly?" She's like, "I gotta map it out, I guess."
Yeah, just sell them individually, just next.
Mhm.
Just there we go. Just start going, my next.
Yeah, but just like it's kind of between a soft V and a C.
Oh, I love
Um,
these. Yeah.
yeah. So they're great guitars. I had a lot of fun with them. Wish I could have had a little bit more time with them, but they had to go back to Canada and like let their dogs out. It
Aw.
was too bad, but, I
Yeah,
hope to
they're
see them in March. I'm going up to Vancouver in March to see a band, called Always,
oh,
and,
nice. I've heard you
yeah.
talk about them.
I like them. They're very good live, and that's important.
Mhm.
Uh, that's a big driver of mine,
If
and,
they sound great live, yes, that's worth
yes.
driving to.
Yeah, I saw, my friends' Rat Boys were in, Seattle, and I went to see them. They were opening for Guster, which is
Neat.
cool. Made kind of a last-minute decision to go, and I had a bunch of guitar pedals that had been sitting around, so I grabbed a few that I thought would be kinda difficult to sell, and I just, like, went to their merch booth after their set. I was like, "Here, enjoy them, sell them for gas money. I don't
That's
care.
great.
Gotta get some stuff out of my space." Speaking of which, if you all subscribe to our Patreon at $5 or above, you'll get access to our exclusive Discord server. I am going to list the pedals I plan on selling there first,
Yes,
and
I'm excited to see this list.
I will charge very fair prices for them. So keep an eye out. Check out the Patreon. Um, After that, they will go on a burner reverb profile because I am very sick of the weird messages I get on my
Oh
reverb
my god.
profile.
Yeah.
You'll never know. You'll never
Yeah.
know.
No, my reverb, which I don't use very much. I've mostly been going through the Discord lately as the past I think over this past year. Yeah, my reverb name is totally like you yeah, burner.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to know it's me.
At first, I was like, "Oh, transparency's great. I want to be
Mm.
transparent." And I'm like, "I don't want to be transparent anymore. I want to be anonymous."
Yep, I don't want weird messages. Let me just, a random dude name. This
No,
is
and
great.
like, you don't want people thinking that just because 'cause you're selling something means you don't like it. It's literally a
No.
matter of space. Guys, I live in a townhouse. It's
Yeah.
a very, very little space, and I simply cannot keep everything.
No, at this point for me, it's sell gear to buy new gear. If I want to buy a new pedal, it's like, nope, I've got to look around and sell the ones either I'm not using or I figure deserve a better home and played and loved. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, at this point.
Yeah, for sure. How about you? Anything new?
Well, I've finally gone through the trauma week of them putting my windows in. So went through
Oh,
a hurricane kind of like missed us again, thank God. But the windows were put in. They even worked on Saturday. So yesterday, they basically finally put them in. I'm happy that they're in. They have to come in and spackle and seal everything at least on the inside to look nice. But I am
mhm.
finally happy that the windows have been put in. But yeah, it was really stressful, a lot of things going on. And I'm already starting to put some of my things back up in my room that I had to put down. So it was nice to start to put paintings back up, start to
Yeah, I'm
put
seeing
pedals
the,
up. Yeah, the things
seeing
are slowly going back up in my room. So I still have to record the house band. Pretty exhausted after this past week. So
I
that's the
bet.
last thing I have to record is the music for the house band and of course the house band in their
Mhm.
flamboyant attire.
And
So once
then
I'm
it's onward and
to
upwards.
the yep, and then it's out, it's released, and then I move on to the next one. The other thing that was actually pretty fun, which arrived, I think it was Monday, the beginning of this week, I had been talking with someone through the Emily Hopkins
Mhm,
Discord, and they competed in a competition, I think, a couple weeks back, where she had a harp stem, which is basically her dry recording, and we were all kind of like to take it and to manipulate it in whatever way we wanted. And of course, we watched through a live stream that she had of that. This one that I had watched, I saw you had an overview of the pedal board, and this guy, his name is Matt Valentine from Blind Panic Devices. His pedal board had a monster on it, like you think a big, bushy, like hairy, like pedal, and it was a
a
fuzz
gritty.
pedal. Yes, it looked like gritty. That's why immediately I was like, oh. monsters, cartoony like stuff. Like this is right off my alley. So like after watching that, like immediately the next day, like I'm messaging him on IG and going, can can you make one of those for me? I
I
want
can
one so
has?
bad. Yeah, I can has. Can you make one for me? Um, so yeah, blind panic devices. When we were talking originally, he just had the was it 78 version of the EHS muff that he had for
Mhm.
that one, and he's like, well, I have the option of that one, but I also can make it so that it's like a Frantone cream puff. I was like, oh wow, like
Mm.
I've never had a Frantone pedal. Like, yeah, I mean, let's put that in there. And he's like, well, I mean, there's a second effect that we could probably put in. And I was like, huh. I really, really, really do love the PT 29, 23.99
Mhm.
delay.
Yeah.
So on the David Foster Wallace from Bookworm Effects, I really love that edge of oscillation kind of feel that it
Mhm.
gets past 3 o'clock, right? So I was like, what if we put that, like if you have any, can we put that in there and just leave it, at that point? So when I kick it on, it
Mm.
blends the fuzz into that delay. So it gives that texture into it, which is really great. And that'll
That's
like
really cool.
that'll shoegaze like you won't
That
believe.
will that will it
That would
shoegaze?
gaze.
Does it shoegaze? Will it? Won't it?
Yes. Yes.
Maybe. Does somebody
So
own the trademark on "Does it
oh,
shoegaze"?
does it shoegaze? Oh, I'm gonna be blocked now if I say that.
I don't care.
Does it shoegaze? Oh, I don't care.
Shout it.
Yeah. So anyway, in talking with him, I was like, you know what? In making the one that I want, can we make it kind of look like it's inspired from Looney Tunes, the big hairy red monster Gossamer?
Mhm.
So
Oh, yeah.
that's what we met such interesting monsters.
Ah!
So I'm holding it
That's
up.
so
Anybody
cute.
who's watching the YouTube, it is adorable. Like it looks almost like him. It even has kind of like the parts. So he has that hump almost. Like the inputs go up at the top and the power. They light up like the eyes. Like on bypass, it's white. On the other one, when you kick on the delay and it blends, he gave me the option because I can go into the back. It's magnetic. I can lift it off here, which is really great for
Oh!
me to start going in and start turning some of the trim pots. I can change the LEDs to whatever colors he set that for me, like 3 of them. I can do red or green or the white. I mostly just have it in the green for now because I like that. As far as the controls and the delay, I wanted to have it inside because I just wanted to keep this just the eyes that when you turn them, like that's the only thing aside from the foot switches, which is under here.
Mhm.
And the little notches here where the eye highlight is in the eye, that's where the notch is. So wherever you're turning,
Nice.
with the highlight where it is.
Oh, very
So yeah.
smart.
So it's a really, really great effects pedal. He can make these for anyone, whatever you want to put in them. Like he really makes some
Gift
great.
ideas.
Yeah, he really does. Even apart from these little monsters,
What's the
he
name
also
again?
makes blind panic devices.
Blind
He's
Panic
in the
Devices.
UK, so I mean that's
Mm,
it's definitely coming over the water if you're in the US, and really good price.
nice.
It was a really through the process we kind of became friends along the way. So like even after like this
Mhm.
pedal has been made, I'm like, what are you making this week? Like I'm
Mhm.
asking questions and stuff like that. He's
That's
really a lot
great.
of fun to talk to. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Sounds like a cool dude.
Yeah, Matt is.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
pretty
I'm very
much
excited for you. That's very fun.
yeah, I'm excited to maybe like use him kind of like a ongoing like house band or like as a
Mhm.
second pedal that comes in and it's like a shock factor that you see this big red
Ta-da!
monster. Yeah.
What is that thing? Yeah, for
What is
sure.
that? Yeah, so it'll be fun. So that's pretty much uh yeah, that's pretty much what's new with me. I'm getting my
Mhm.
life back together slowly and finding a little joy here and there.
Good. Good, that makes one of us. Uh,
It'll be
there's
this too shall pass. It will come for you.
uh, whatever. So I have another thing that it's one of my favorite things of the year. Um,
Mhm.
it's Ultimate Ears, and they make these earbuds now that look and feel and fit like in-ear monitors.
Oh,
The way these lock into your ears and just do not fall out at all during like workouts, and the way they sound and the way they feel. These are the best earbuds I've ever had in my life. But yeah, they're called UE drops. They're pretty spendy, but if you're looking for something to get yourself, recommend. Do
Do you
recommend. Yeah.
do you have to mold them, or are they
Yeah,
just glued
so
right up?
you order the when you order them, they'll send you something called a fit kit, and you that's how you take your at home impressions. All you need is a smartphone and like 5 minutes, and you send those back. They use those molds to handcraft your earbuds. They're really
Nice.
neat. Yeah. Um, a little more expensive. Last year, I got like a ton of my friends and family the UE Fits, which is the instant custom fit version. Uh, not going to be getting everybody drops this year. That's for damn sure. A lot more expensive, but I think just like really justified by the quality. Um, but yeah, and their customer support actually they hooked me up when one of these stopped working, and I got another pair
Nice.
a few weeks later. But I'm just like my in-ear monitors are broken. I'm gonna take nobody's gonna be able to see it, but it's just like the shell just is
Hmm.
gone, and I don't want to keep wearing them like this. So
No, of course.
um, it's a game of do I
Especially
want
if
to
they
pay? Do I want to pay for them to literally glue it back together, or do I want to glue it back together? Because I know I'm gonna I don't have a warranty, but um, I think I'm just gonna have to fix it.
uh, that sucks.
Yeah, I was gonna film a demo today. I guess we'll see
Oh
how
no.
that goes. But
When you have plans. Someone says, "Hold my beer." I'm sorry.
yeah, hits just keep coming.
Yeah, this year.
Um, yeah, that's true. At least Tuesday wasn't a disaster. We all know what I'm talking about. um, yeah. So I mean, I don't have a lot else to talk about. We don't really know what the Black Friday deals are yet. I suspect that they will be live or at least announced by Monday of next week, if not already. Like there are a ton of early bird deals. I feel like
Yeah.
Black Friday kind of starts November 1st these
Yeah,
days.
that's
Um,
kind of the feel I got with it too. As soon as, like, besides Mariah Carey starting to sing, it's also, yeah, they kind of the early bird goes live.
yeah. Like Sweetwater, they already have sales. Musician's Friend has up to 40% off of things. I know Perfect Circuit has been doing some sales already. So keep your eyes peeled. Just hold out for those good deals, and know that, like, as good as some of these deals are, you're probably not going to get big discounts on new gear, unless the response to that new gear was just very, very bad.
Hmm.
So keep that in mind. You'll probably find pretty big deals on things that are being phased out or are about to start getting phased out.
Yeah, new
Um,
models coming in.
new,
Yep.
yeah. So that's something to look for to see where these big slashes are, and then to guess, like, well, does that mean the better one's coming soon? Is mean better? Mean
Not
should wait?
always. Not
Maybe
always.
sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I don't really know what the trends in 2023 are going to be like. Um, we're just going to have to wait and see. We don't. I feel like people are more optimistic about the economy right now, than they were a few weeks ago. I know there are like layoffs and stuff, but it feels like people aren't quite as nervous about that. But who
No.
knows?
Yeah, in the last, like, I think end of October, beginning of November, I sold things suddenly that I was complaining about sitting, that I wanted them
Yeah.
to move because I wanted to invest in, like, some other gear that I wanted to get, and then suddenly they sold randomly. I was like, "Yes, I can now get these things that I
Hmm.
wanted to get randomly." I was like, "I don't know what changed," but I was like, "Nice, nice, the economy, thank you." Like, whatever's going on, thank you.
Yeah. Ultimately, things are just really expensive right now, but
Mm,
these sales are, I think, going to uh, do what they're supposed to do and get people buying things again.
I hope
Well,
so.
me too. Me too. It's my livelihood. I know I say demos aren't my full time job, but pro audio is.
Yeah,
So,
no, I don't get paid really for what I do either. So it's like
Mhm,
clients that need to sell things or
mhm.
advertise things. Like if they don't have a budget for me because they're not selling said items, they can't afford the graphic designer. They can't afford a marketing team. So
Yeah,
yeah, it impacts me if people don't buy
mhm.
things.
Yeah, truly. On that bummer of a note, we still got merch at getallsetpodcast.com/shop. Thanks to everybody who bought a Fangs shirt last week.
Yes, thank
They're
you.
still available. They're really fun and funny. I'm excited. Raising money for a good cause, the Dave Burton Recovery Fund. So please check that out. Link in by show notes, video description,
Description.
that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Also, during the when we have the live chat during the premiere, thank you so much for the people who have donated the super chats. Thank you
Oh
so
my
much. We
god.
really, really appreciate it.
I was
And
blown
again, we
away
don't.
by the super
Yeah,
chatting last week. It made me so happy.
yeah. So
That's so
we really
sweet.
appreciate that because
Mhm.
again, we don't really ask for such things other than obviously if you want to join Patreon, we appreciate. But other than that, it really made our night to see that
Yeah.
you guys appreciated and supported us
Yeah.
during that.
If you're watching this live right now, there's still time to super chat. If you're not, there's still a give thanks button at the bottom of this video. Um, I think my Venmo is Emily on guitar. Feel free to support the show in any way you can. My personal favorite way is to like, comment, and subscribe. It's a great way to support the show and the channel, and it costs you $0. We also have affiliate links for Sweetwater, Perfect Circuit, Seymour Duncan, Reverb, things like that, in the show notes slash video description. When you use those links, we do get a portion of that sale, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. It's the vendor, the merchant, who's like, hey, here's a little
Something,
4%.
something.
It's real it adds up, and I'm always very, tickled when I see someone has used, like, our Sweetwater affiliate link. It makes me feel good.
Yeah. So which one
Mhm.
out of the ones that you listed had the best percentage?
Perfect Circuit actually, Seymour Duncan. Seymour
Mhm.
Duncan by Seymour Duncan. If you wanna buy Seymour Duncan pickups, please use our affiliate link. Other than that, I favor Sweetwater a lot, and Perfect Circuit.
Nice.
Mhm. Yeah. Sweetwater once said, "You should try putting QR codes directly in your videos because people watch on their TV." I'm like, "I will pass."
No.
Just like, is how dated would it look to just have this little like,
Yeah.
yeah, not that people are gonna watch this in 5 years, but still.
No. Yeah, even for what I do, I have a hard time. I mean, I know I'll eventually kind of do it, but I make it kind of a point even though I should to not say like and subscribe because I feel like I'm breaking the illusion of what's going on, but I feel like
It's
I
the only way
have to
people
say it. Yeah.
you have to say it is the
You have
truth,
to say
like,
it.
yeah, and if you're annoyed by it, just understand that it works.
It helps.
Otherwise, if you don't do it, you're not getting the subscribers. It's just kind of the truth of it. So sorry if you're annoyed, if you were annoying.
No, I know. That's what I said for me, like it helps me as far as with visibility, algorithm, things like that. So when
Yeah.
people subscribe or like something or even comment, I mean, it's good or bad. It really does help my channel because
Mhm.
otherwise, if there's no engagement interaction, like it really doesn't get seen by, you know, really anyone.
And what's the name of that channel?
Ah, that would be Pedal
That
Playhouse.
channel. Pedal Playhouse, go subscribe. Joe's in
I
the chat
appreciate it.
right now. Even if you're watching later, the
Yep,
chat will be
we'll be in the live
playing.
chat.
Click on that icon, subscribe. Do it.
Gracias. Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. All right. On that note, I think it's a good time to call it. So everybody out there, thanks for watching slash listening.
Thanks for understanding.
Until next time, my name is Emily.
I'm Joan of Heart.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.